Free practice 1 and 2 around the Jeddah Corniche Circuit for the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix took place earlier today. And as always here on the channel, guys, let's have a look at the 5 most important things, the 5 highlights, the 5 things that we learned from free practice 1 and 2 on Friday this weekend in Formula 1. So the first thing that we learned is that somehow Pierre Gasly got P1 in free practice 1. Now that's something that I did not expect to see. Now, of course, Alpine are looking better. They've got a bit of confidence now. They got their first points of the season last weekend in Bahrain, but top of free practice 1, who saw that coming? I certainly did not, and I don't think even Alpine would have done, to be honest with you. And also on top of that as well, Gasly did look good in free practice 2 as well. He got P8 in that, so it wasn't a flash in the pan, although I do think lower end of the points is really where they're most likely going to be this weekend at best, but this is a very positive sign from what we saw during the run-in in Jeddah. Overall though, the fastest car, as usual, as you kind of expect really, was McLaren. Norris was P2 in free practice 1 with Piastri in P4, and it was a 1-2 for McLaren in second practice. So again, they are looking the strongest, they are looking the best, but of course the last couple of weekends in Formula 1 in Japan and Bahrain, it has not been quite that simple. They haven't managed a 1-2 finish since they managed it in the second round of the season in China, but they are looking good for that this weekend. McLaren have never stood on the podium in Jeddah before, but they're the strong favourites not only to do that, but also win the race on Sunday too. Now, let's talk about Yuki Tsunoda. Now, he did not have the best of days. His pace was actually pretty good. He ended up in P6, I believe, in free practice 2. But despite that good place in there, he did not have a good session overall because he turned too much going through that horseshoe at the end of the midway point of the lap, I should say. And unfortunately, he ended up damaging his suspension and ended up getting into the wall because of it. We got a red flag. I don't think we had a single red flag or incident really in the first practice session, just a few offs and stuff like that. Nothing too serious, but that did bring the session, of course, to a halt for a while. Max Verstappen, though, he was the closest challenger to the McLaren cars, getting P3 overall. But yeah, the Red Bull mechanics will not be thanking their Japanese driver there for wrecking the car. They'll have a long repair job with that this evening. They probably already completed it, knowing them. They are usually pretty quick with these things at the end of the day. But let's talk about Sauber, the fourth thing that we learned. Let's talk about Sauber. Mixed day for them, I'd say, overall, especially in free practice 2. Nico Hülkenberg, now he got some good points 12 months ago here while driving for Haas. Kevin Magnussen very much doing a good job for his teammate there at that time. But yeah, Hulk got P9 today on merit in free practice 2, which again, that kind of came out of nowhere really. Didn't expect that to happen. But on the other side of the garage, Gabriel Bortoleto, it was a nightmare because absolutely nothing happened, unfortunately, for him. He had an oil leak of some kind and was unable to take part in free practice 2, which is not really good when your only experience around here is in a Formula 2 car. I would expect that he's really wanting to get out there and get some more experience of this circuit in a Formula 1 car, but unfortunately at night time it didn't happen. And the thing is as well, around Jeddah as well, this is a nighttime race just like we saw in Bahrain, so free practice 1 really is not that representative. Same with free practice 3 tomorrow on Saturday as well. So the only real practice session that they're going to do that is representative of what they can expect in qualifying and during the Grand Prix on Sunday is free practice 2, and Bortoleto missing out on that is not very good, but he's a very talented young boy. I'm sure he'll do very well in this weekend for sure. But yeah, that is not ideal preparation really for the rest of his weekend. And for the final thing, I want to talk about Williams. Let's talk about Williams. I think they had a pretty good day overall, especially in free practice 2. P5 for Carlos Sainz and P10 for Alex Albon, both in the top 10, looking solid around the kind of places you really expect them to be. But of course, Sainz being so far, it was great for him. Alex Albon actually had a bit of a, not really an off, but a bit of a wide moment going through the final corner, hitting the barriers there because of it. Thankfully being able to continue, no major damage there. But he wasn't the only one either. I think Kimi Antonelli had a really big shunt. I'd be shocked if there's no damage on that Mercedes, but it seemed to be running fine after that. So yeah, overall, pretty eventful stuff. Nothing too major in terms of the crashes. The only big one being Yuki Tsunoda, but thankfully he's okay and it wasn't a really high speed one. Jack Doohan, though, did dodge a bullet. If you look at his wide moment in free practice 2 where he rides over the outside curbs, he did that in the exact same spot I think that Mick Schumacher did a few years ago as well. And yeah, Mick Schumacher, his car ended up being in 1,000 pieces. reason. I think that was the one where the rear axle actually detached. That might have been Monaco. Well, this might have been this one as well. He had a few of those, of course, in his short time in Formula 1. But yeah, there we go, guys. The main highlights from free practice 1 and free practice 2 around Jeddah. What were your main takeaways from the running today in Saudi Arabia? Let us know in the comments below. And who's getting pole position tomorrow? Let us know your pick in the comments below. As always, have a fantastic day ahead wherever you are, and have a great Easter weekend as well. If you're in the UK like me, 4-day weekend. Let's make the most of it. See you soon for some more content like this, guys. Have a fantastic day, and let's hope for a great qualifying session tomorrow as well around Jeddah.